Generali Austrian Open between Thomas Muster, the #1 seed, and the young Spaniard Alberto Costa, 20 years of age, seeded #5. You've missed absolutely nothing. We're very grateful to our colleagues up in Gothenburg, Tim Hutchins and Steve Cram, for keeping going. I think they win the marathon commentating stakes. The reason this match is almost an hour behind schedule is that they decided to play the men's doubles first at 11 o'clock, and you guessed it, it went to a final set tiebreak before Francisco Montana and Greg Van Anberg of the United States beat Jordi Arrece of Spain and the Australian Wayne Arthurs 6-7, 6-3, 7-6. So we're going to be getting underway almost an hour late. So as I say, our grateful thanks to Tim and Steve. I was listening to them on our sound circuit, and I hope Tim enjoys that pizza. It certainly didn't sound too appetizing. But Fru, we've got quite an appetizing match in prospect here, because when these two met in the French Open in the quarterfinals back at the beginning of June, it went the full distance before Muster got home 6-2, 3-6, 6-7, 7-5, 6-2.
Yes, the quarterfinalists in the French Championships playing here, and watching that match in the French, Muster was very, very close indeed to losing it. I remember that the game eventually that Costa lost to give Muster the break in the fourth set. Costa actually led 40-love in that game and was winning it fairly comfortably. Took it a little easy, let Muster in, and of course that's perhaps the last thing you want to do. So Muster really then took over the reins, and from then on it was all Muster, but still his toughest match en route to his French Open victory.
There we are, the #1 seed in the tournament, world rank #3, born in Leibniz and living now in Monte Carlo, and looking for his 9th title of the year, and rapidly closing in on Pete Sampras's record set last year of 10 titles in a year in the Open era. And there's quite a lot of clay court tennis still to come, both before and after the US Open, although Thomas heading off to play in the United States next week in the Super 9 event in Cincinnati. But an outstanding year. Here's his progress to the final, and undoubtedly the highlight, yesterday's semi-final victory over his fellow Austrian Gilbert Schaller in a marvellous match, 6-3 in the final set. Muster was a little upset about it afterwards, refused to do an interview with our host broadcasters, Austrian TV, and said that he felt the crowd had been very much for Schaller. It's amazing, I suppose, that the battle of the egos between two fellow countrymen, and Muster feeling he's the #1. But here's a young man who, like Muster, is at a career high in the world rankings at 27 and sure to move up further as a result of reaching the final here in his first appearance in Kitzbuhel. Alberto Costa turned 20 on the 25th of June, born in Lerida, living in Barcelona. The world #4 in juniors 2 years ago, and rapidly making his mark on the senior tour. Started the year ranked 52, runner-up in Casablanca to Gilbert Schaller, runner-up in Estoril to Thomas Muster, 6-4, 6-2. That was their first meeting, the French Open their second. Semi-finalist in Nice, quarter-finalist at the French and at the Stuttgart Outdoors. And his progress, well, you can see, very competent indeed. Hasn't lost a set, and only against the third-seeded Andrea Gaudenzi did he really figure in a close set. And I know, Fru, he's a young man you think a lot of.
Yes, I do. I think he's got one of the best backhands in the game, Costa. Terrific style on that backhand side. I think the rest of his game is more than adequate. I suppose he might just be a little lightweight at the moment to really contend in the very major events. But do remember that he, as we look at umpire Berger, that he did press Muster in that French quarterfinals. I did also see, and we covered it in fact, the Muster-Costa match, the final at Estoril, in which Muster really won quite handily. But Costa since then I think has come on a lot, and of course his confidence will have been boosted by a quarterfinal showing in a Grand Slam event. He's got an adequate serve, which is aided of course, as is Muster's, by the altitude here in Kitzbuhel. It just makes the ball fly that little bit faster through the air.
We're at 800 meters, 2,500 feet. Confirmation of their two previous matches. Costa playing in his third final of the year, third final of his career, yet to win a title. Muster, playing in his 9th final of the year, has won the previous 8. He's played 19 matches against Spaniards this year and lost only 1. That was to Alex Corretja in the first round in Stade. And incredibly, the last 24 finals he's played on clay, he's won. A huge streak. Ronnie Lightgeeb, the man in the straw hat, the coach and manager of Thomas Muster. And there's no doubt that Muster is the outstanding player of the year on clay. He's leading the money list, worldwide money list this year, with $1.7 million already to his name, and he's bound to add at least 29,900. That's the runners-up prize today. The winner will take away 51,000 US dollars. And let me tell you that this is a best-of 5-set final. The temperature very warm, up into the 30s. Of course, we're getting underway at 2 o'clock local time, which means we really are in the hottest part of the day.
Yes, two very important factors, I think, is the fact is that Muster is outstanding at altitude. I think he's won 6 tournaments at altitude. Also, of course, it's Austria, so the crowd will really be behind him.
Erster Satz, Aufschlag, Costa. Ready.
Alberto Costa to serve at the start of the Kitzbuhel final. Well, perhaps Costa's made a few notes at the way Gilbert Schaller attacked Muster yesterday.
Much favoured ploy of Muster's to hammer away at the backhand side, even though it might be strong. If you can hit with enough pace and then drag the man out wide on that side, open up the court for the big left-handed forehand down the line to Costa's forehand. He used that a lot against Schaller, and he uses it a lot in most matches that he plays on clay.
Two break points for the #1 seed in the first game.
Oh. 30-40.
Well, Costa's backhand may be his strength, but the forehand is certainly not a weakness.
Yes, Muster looking down at the court, shaking his head. It is just a little slippery. It's got a fairly hard and firm base, this. But this is the difference between Costa and Schaller. The fact that Costa has got a slightly better forehand than does Muster's fellow Austrian, whom he beat in the last round.
Costa.
Well, that'll give the 20-year-old a lot of confidence, holding serve from 15-40. Costa then wins the opening game of the final. Just to bring you up to date with the overnight news from America, the men's event in Los Angeles, I can tell you that Michael Stieck, the second seed, went through very comfortably against Jakob Klasek, 6-2, 6-4. I won't tell you the result of the other match between Goran Ivanisevic and Thomas Enquist, because you can watch it tonight here on Eurosport. But let me tell you, it's a match well worth watching. In the women's event, Conchita Martinez had a very comfortable win over Mary Pierce in the semi-finals in Carlsbad, California. 6-1, 6-3, and in the final she'll play the 9th-seeded American Lisa Raymond, who beat Sandrine Testude 6-4, 6-3.
Yes, funnily enough, the fact that Costa won that game from break points down will actually have done him more good, because it will have undermined Muster just that little bit.
Muster, the champion here 2 years ago. And he beat another Spaniard, Javier Sanchez, who's in the final in Prague today. Get the impression he's struggling with the high bouncing ball to his backhand.
Muster or
Costa?
Costa. Well, I think most people do, really, unless you can really get on top of it. Which, if it's bouncing high and you haven't stepped in early to play, it does give anybody a little bit of trouble. Muster, who served 8 double faults against Schaller, did not have a good serving match. A very low percentage of first serves. And of course the point is, you miss these first serves, particularly over a long 5-set match. It does drain you a bit. Well, Muster complained about the crowd yesterday, but of course that was against Schaller, an underdog. And although Muster is the king of Austrian tennis, against an underdog like Schaller, they were just trying to support the lesser man. Here today, they will have unreserved support for him.
$7,000 jam-packed into the casino stadium. A magnificent stadium it is.
This was a bit of a nothing shot from Costa. I think the lob really might have taken a lot more out of Muster. Well, even though he missed that forehand, the advantage of getting the first serve in really put him a lot earlier on in the rally into a winning position.
This new centre court opened in 1991 to replace what is now the second court where you used to play when you were here in Kitzbuhel.
Yes, it just shows how much tennis has come on, the fact that they can afford and have erected this massive stadium. Well, Muster made the error there of stopping play immediately, which in fact you have to do if you wish to draw attention to a ball that you think is out, and then realizing that he'd made an error, the ball actually came off the line.
I thought that was wide.
Yes, so did I.
And I think Muster did as well, because although he's won the point, he's going to have a look at it. He wasn't too complimentary about the officials yesterday. He suggested that the German umpire Roland Herfel was didn't have the best of eyesight. A little bit of anxiety, it seems to me, in Muster's game at the moment. It certainly hasn't settled. Of course, the long delay while the doubles was concluded won't have helped. They'd have mentally prepared themselves to start at 1 and end up starting at 2. That's a great get.
Well, he couldn't have played a better lunging forehand volley, because Costa was well out of court. And I thought for a minute there that Muster had been beaten, but he just was able to stretch wide enough to get around the ball just a bit and therefore get a cross-court direction on the ball.
Just long. First 3 games have been closely contested, but no breaks to serve in them. And it's the Spaniard Alberto Costa who leads by 2 games to 1 in the opening set. We'll take a break and be right back. That was the first point of the fourth game of the final in Kitzbuhel. Thomas Mister trailing A.Costa 1-2, best of 5 set match. Instinctively moved forward as soon as he realized it hit a good return.
Well, if any baby were asleep with this applause, they'd soon be waking up. You could see Muster's game plan there, trying to drive Costa further and further out wide on the backhand. He didn't hit a very good and deep approach with the forehand or drive down the line. It's quite noticeable that both players now have stopped using the high bouncing ball. Both looking to drive low across the net. That might suggest that both of them are afraid to convey the message to the opponent that they themselves don't like the high bouncing ball.
Well, Costa not really charming the backhand at the moment. Certainly not the standards we've come to expect from the young Spaniard, who won the Orange Bowl title in 1993, that huge junior event. They play in Florida just before Christmas every year. He was runner-up in the French Open Juniors that year too. The confidence of youth. Lovely disguise and perfect execution.
Yes, the confidence of youth and the wisdom of an age that he hasn't yet attained, really, because everything else had been hit with such depth that Muster was expecting another deep shot. This was clever play. Seeing Costa miss a backhand, as enamoured as I am of his backhand, I think he's got one of the best. I have made the point that if his backhand is rushed, it's not nearly as effective. He needs time to play the shot, so Muster might yet still come in on a lot of cracking forehands deep to the Costa backhand and still win points.
That, I think, though, is Muster's best shot, that off forehand into the forehand corner.
A few times during this week we've seen Muster seemingly have a lead, which looks as if he's about to take further on to a break of serve, and then suddenly just lose a bit of concentration. You can see how expensive that slight loss of concentration now is.
Well played again, Costa. Not fazed by being unable to put away the overhead. Kept his cool. And he moves ahead once again. 3-2 to the Spaniard on serve, first set. With Alberto Costa rapidly rising up the rankings and Alberto Berasategui struggling and dropping down, it may not be too long before he takes over as the #2 Spaniard.
Yes, that's certainly a point. And in fact, I think he's got the game to take over that mantle from Berasategui. I think he's a better all-round player. And he's shown us not only this week, but in the past too, that he is capable of volleying. And really this volleying has come in very handy against this doughty, nuggety Austrian, who likes, I think, to make his message known, not only with his tough drives and his presence at the back of the court, but he almost sounds his message, doesn't he? He grunts like Celis, and he seems to be spreading a story as he does so.
2-3 on serve. First of a potential 5 sets. Mentioned that Alberto Costa was the runner-up in the French Open Juniors in 1993. Thomas Muster, runner-up in the French Open Juniors in 1985. Certainly not afraid to take the initiative, take the game to Muster. First ace of the match.
Yes, that ace that Muster served, he really didn't serve very well against Schaller, only 2 aces in a long 3-setter. But already today he's serving better than he did in his semi-final. Famous last word.
Second double. Typical Muster rally, hammering away at the 1 point.
Yes, a rally in more senses of the word than one, too, having lost 2 points in a row.
Well, shame Costa didn't get back into position because Muster mishit the smash.
Yes, except, as you know, that had Costa gone into position, of course, Muster wouldn't have played the same shot.
"24 minutes the opening 6 games have taken. Well, a couple of times he's played the drop shot and Muster hasn't read it at all.
Yes, again, very effective, doing it once he's got Muster way out of court, and even though it's far from a very good drop shot, almost a lob, he's got so much court to play and so much time. Muster will have to start thinking now. Well, a little disconcerting for the Spaniard because he's had 2 relatively easy backhands to play down the line. Normally he's so good at them. Missed both.
Whereas Muster's best shot, that in-to-out forehand, already finding its mark.
Yes, and with so many murmurs from the crowd during this rally, I'm not surprised that Costa is looking over at the umpire as if to say, can't you ask them just to keep quiet? I know it was a mishit, an unlikely shot to bounce in, but it is a bit off-putting.
Of course, under the rules of the ATP Tour, the umpire's not allowed to ask for quiet unless he thinks someone in the crowd is calling out to hinder the players. If it's just a reaction to something that's happened, it's now encouraged. 2 more break points for Muster. The first double fault of the match from Costa, and he hands Muster the break of serve on a plate, gift wrapped. 4-3 to the number 1 seed, first set.
People who iron creases in their jeans. People who always work out their exact share of the bill. People who habitually fold their pyjamas. They're not going to like this at all. The new Tigra from Opel. Fun, if you like that sort of thing.
The power to move your soul. For music lovers, Technics.
You're watching Eurosport's live coverage of the final in Kitzbuhel. Thomas Muster 4-3 ahead now.
I think it's a good tactic if Muster does approach the net every now and again, because it just keeps the opponent honest and gives him better rhythm on his serve. Because what it means is that his movement is taking him into the court. If you stand back all the time, then you're sort of serving off the back foot.
Muster thinks it caught the outside of the line. But having had a look for himself, satisfied that it didn't. Muster on a roll, 3 games in a row. Seemingly not everyone impressed.
Well, they don't want to break their dignity. This is terrific play, and I think one of the reasons why Muster is so good at altitude, the fact that he's won Mexico City 3 times, won in Madrid, and the fact that he's won here before, is because he can use the extra pace that the altitude gives him that much more power, both on serve and on ground stroke. But having said that, Muster this year has developed more power, even more power on his ground strokes. And I think that is one of the reasons, allied to the fact that other people like Bruguera and Courier and co have fallen away, one reason why Muster this year won the French.
Threatening to get a real grip on this match now, Muster, moving his opponent around constantly.
Yes, I don't have the scorecard of when these two played in Paris, but I did see their match in Estoril, and this chap lost his serve once in the first set. And once Muster had got on top of him, he lost it 3 times in the second set.
Well, in Paris, Muster won the first set 6-2 very comfortably, but it was Costa who won the next 2, so wouldn't count him out just yet. Good judgment from Costa. Hit a terrific pace.
Muster wondering whether it were long or wide, or both.
Break point and set point. Well, the line judge took a lot of time to make up his mind. The hand went out to indicate out, and eventually the palms went down to say, no, ignore my first decision. It was on the line.
I'm surprised Muster's not seeing a bit more of Costa at the net. Remember those points early on that Costa won so well at the net?
Thomas's parents, Heinz and Inga. Benefit of stepping in and taking the ball early from Muster. No time for Costa to recover. Second set point. A little lucky to get away with that, I thought, Costa, but good play to get to the net.
Yes, and I think he's really got to do more of this, come in behind short balls if he can, because he's got the equipment, he's got the good forehand which he can pull wide, and he's got that terrific backhand, which we haven't really seen much of today yet.
Surprised by the serve swinging right into his body.
Well, I thought Muster might have been really encouraged by the first backhand he played straight down the line for an outright winner. He won't throughout a match play many from that side, mostly scoring with forehands.
Well, well done, Costa. Once again, he clings on, surviving the two-set points, but he's still a break behind, and Thomas Muster will serve for the match at 5-4.
Looks pretty good stuff right here.
This wrinkle someone's tennis fights.
Eurosport Live.
Welcome back, where of course Thomas Muster is about to serve for the set, not the match. Getting a little ahead of myself. At 5-4 in the first set. Best of 5-set match, of course. The final of the Austrian Open tournament in its 101st year. Yes, it is a hot one.
Well, he made the right move. He saw that Costa was just chipping the ball back. But I suppose had he anticipated, he would have been a metre nearer the net and a lot handier to play that volley.
It's strange to see Costa making an error like that on the backhand wing, which is normally so secure. Lack of decision in what sort of a shot he was going to play.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Seldom plays those shots from the back. Usually just rolls the ball with pace.
Two more set points.
Well, immediately he got Costa so far out of court. You could see that he wanted to take advantage of the big opening, but Costa's return came back bouncing high.
And he rather snatched at that as well. I don't associate Muster with getting nervous on set points, and he's won enough of them this year.
No, I think what he's saying here is that if the ball bounces anywhere near the line, it tends to bounce badly. But I really think he's making excuses for himself. He's looking to win the points just a little too early here.
Here is Alberto Costa's first break point of the match.
Yes, that's where that left-handed serve, no matter that it's to the opponent's strength, is so useful.
He's done him again with the drop shot. 3 out of 3.
Well, this is courageous. Some might say foolish at a stage like that, but he's used it so successfully a couple of times before, and Muster once again was way behind the baseline. And it has to be said, Muster's fast, but he's not lightning fast. He's not a Bruguera, he's not a Chang. I think just a little inexperience showing here with Costa. I think that was the point, really, to keep Muster out there a little bit longer, to gnaw away at Muster's nerves.
fifth set point. And he's finally closed it out after exactly 45 minutes. 6-4.
Yes, and doing the very right thing at the very right time. With Costa way out of court. Just elementary, providing he could keep his head, keep his cool. And of course that brings to mind a fact that Musta is so much more experienced at playing 5-set matches than is the young Spaniard. Not only that, of course, far more experienced at playing finals.
Well, called out, but the way it bounced, I'd be very surprised if it was. And Musta has said, no, it was on the line. Play it again, Sam.
Costa would recognize that because he was in Casablanca this year, lost in the final to Shala.
Yes, his third career final, always against Austrians. Musta in Estoril.
Musta just taking a little breather here. Yes, one gets the feeling he's just going to go for broke on the next of these two shots, Musta, or next 2 points.
Costa's got a drop shot and a half. And the youngster shows that he's still very competitive. He wins the opening game of the second set.
The sporting event of the summer, and it's on Eurosport. Every day, Eurosport takes you to Gothenburg, Sweden, for the clash of the titans of world athletics. This program is brought to you on Eurosport by TDK. Join us live for the World Athletics Championships from Gothenburg at 4:30 p.m. on Eurosport.
Eurosport Live.
Welcome back. These are the statistics of the first set. You can see Musta only won 3 more points. 2 aces to 0. 2 double faults to 1 from Costa. Musta at the net more than Costa, perhaps slightly surprising, making more baseline winners and fewer baseline errors. Beautiful setting, isn't it? The Alps in the background, basking in sunshine as much of Europe is. I gather from speaking to home this morning that down in the West Country, down in Devon, a lot of thunderstorms overnight. Hope none of you got flooded out. Love 1, second set. Musta serving.
As is usual, at the first opportunity after the first set, and it'll be done after each set, the court is swept, dragged, It's almost a new court that they're playing on. And I know as a player it certainly gives you a little lift suddenly to be playing on something that's a bit fresher. And of course it makes the bounces that much more regular.
Third ace from Worcester.
Well, this improved serving makes Mustra that much more damaging as a player, really. Against Schaller, he barely hit a first serving court.
Costa hitting too many of those backhand slices for my liking. Sits up a little, it's short, and Mustra's crawling all over it.
Yes, of course, Costa's counter to that should be to try and take the ball just a little bit earlier before it actually reaches the apex of its bounce. But that takes a little bit of courage, as Mustra breaks a string and goes for a new one, new racket.
And sends the old one off to be restrung. Takes about 10 minutes.
Talking about their 5-set history, I imagine Costa's only ever played one 5-set match. That is a match that's actually gone to 5-set, and that was the one against Mustra. Mustra, on the other hand, I know has a very good winning record. He's played well over 20 5-set matches, including that.
Just quickly been checking my records. It's certainly the only 5-set match he's played this year. Costa, I don't know if he played one last year. Beat Jim Courier and the French in 4.
No, because he had first-round losses last year in the French, Wimbledon and US to Sampras, Chang and Agassi, and all of those were in 3 straight.
Careful, Thomas, you might get a warning for racket abuse. Fortunately for him, he didn't break the racket. If he had, it would have been an automatic code violation and $500 fine. But since he's made 1.7 million this year, I guess he could afford one of those.
Yes, well, he obviously sensed that he had the opportunity there against Costa. The lob he played was really a clever lob by Mustra, because he could see that Costa was coming in on it and was going to take the net and quickly to sum up his opponent. And of course the experience of playing in matches, even if it doesn't go to 5, just the fact that you've got ahead of you the possibility of a long match is a real advantage. Costa, a comparative novice, but I think somebody with a good mind nevertheless. Yes, you say he may not have broken that racket. It actually sounded as if it broke to me.
Didn't notice whether he surreptitiously switched it at the changeover. He's had been known to do that.
Watching Costa and Muster play here, spare a thought for a former Wimbledon champion, one Mr. Pat Cash. I wonder whether he's watching, because in Dubai this year he beat both of these players. Not at the same time, in successive matches.
There's Pat attempting yet another comeback. How's he luck with all his injuries? Muster in the first round, cracking match, and then Costa in the second. Eventually lost to the eventual champion, Wayne Ferreira, in the quarters in Dubai. Oh, Alberto, what are you doing with that backhand? Hit through the ball. Don't push it and prod it, hit it.
Yes, this is just the nerves of the big occasion, the final, the 5-set match. Just unfamiliar territory, and Costa eschewing his best shot on this backhand side. Normally he rolls that really with a certain amount of effect.
Three doubles now from Muster. Two games all. Second set, first set Muster. If you've just joined us, this is a best of 5 set final. The Austrian Open, sponsored by EA Generali. Well, the line judge comes out, points to the mark, says he's out, and those players say, no, let's play 2. I think the line judge from that might have been right. It was certainly one of my basic tenets as an umpire. If both players were in agreement, you let them get on with it. You're only there to arbitrate between them.
That device is for the net courts. Watching Costa miss that backhand again, and it looks like another broken string. And the stringers will be doing well. Of course, most of these players are given free strings, and a lot of them, most of them at the top, use gut still. And also the stringing is supplied free of charge at these ATP Tour events. But one of the factors why he may not be using this backhand particularly well is that Muster, of course, is a left-hander, and it just strikes me that he may just be a little more unsettled against left-handers.
There aren't so many lefties around at the top of the game these days. Muster, when he won the French, was the first left-handed Grand Slam champion since Andres Gomez, the Ecuadorian who beat Andre Agassi, nearly decapitated one of the line judges there. I think back to the 80s when there were fellows like Connors and McEnroe around. Before them, Morantes, Tanner, a fellow called Laver. Just wide.
Yes, and of course there's absolutely no reason why Costa, with these excellent backhands, shouldn't do well against left-handers. The contrary, in fact, generally they do well. People with good backhands do well against left-handers because so much of left-handed play is directed there. Yes, there was a period in the US Open, I think, when there were about 10 left-handers in a row who won that title. Morantes, Villas, Connors, McEnroe.
Played. We stay on serve in this second set, and it's the Spaniard Costa who leads 3-2.
It's all up to you. Eurosport Live.
Welcome back. While you were away at the commercial break, we've hastily scanned the records, and as far as we can see, this is only Alberto's Costa's fifth match against a left-hander this year. His third against Thomas Muster. He played Hikam Arazi of Morocco in the first round in Casablanca, and Francisco Clavet, his fellow Spaniard, in the second round in Nice. So, fifth match, and this is his 41st match of the year. I do like it when they show that low camera shot from time to time. It gives you some idea of just how hard these guys hit the ball.
Yes, it's a more realistic picture, really. If they could get it just a bit further back, they could actually stay and show more of the whole court. Well, Muster's comment to himself in German after losing the first point was not on the forehand. And yet normally that's the less strong wing of Costa.
Certainly using the forehand that time, Costa, to set up the opportunity to get to the net. Ronnie Leitgeb on the right, Costa's coach.
Thereby hangs the tail. Yes, Leitgeb this year in full view of thousands, really, in full view of live Austrian television, shaved his head, a la John Daly. The reason being that Muster won his matches against the Spaniards in the Davis Cup so handsomely, losing only one set.
That's one of the better backhands that Costa has hit. And it sets up the first break point of the second set, as the Austrians beat the Spanish in the first round of this year's Davis Cup. They played on an indoor court, didn't want to play the Spanish on clay.
Well, in fact, I think it triggered Muster's phenomenal year, because he beat both Carlos Costa and Bruguera in straight sets, then undertook to play the doubles, and it was only in the doubles that he lost a set. And as a result of all that, Leitgeb shaved his head.
A very late call. Costa says that's the mark. Rudy Berger's going to say it caught the line. And remember, the law is if any part of the ball touches any part of the line.
Yes, what very often happens in those circumstances is that the ball can actually slide off the line just a bit. If it hits the back of the line, and leave most of its mark, of course, beyond the line. Well, Muster's celebrating by doing his imitation of Tarzan here. And the crowd just lapping it up. He-Man stuff.
You're showing your age. For these days we would refer to doing a Robo-Cop, I think, or a Schwarzenegger.
But he certainly is a bit of a He-Man, Muster. And of course, it's that impression that he likes to convey immediately in a match, immediately at the beginning of a set, to the opposition. The idea that he's just going to be relentless in his pursuit of victory.
New set of tennis balls, 3-all, second set. One or two signs that at last the Costa backhand is beginning to make its mark.
Well, Muster hates playing against people who do nothing else but attack the net, but I think he'd like to give the impression, and be of the opinion that he can play an all-court game. Remember what he said about Elting this year at the Australian.
Jaco Elting beat Thomas Muster on his way to the quarters at the Australian, playing chip and charge tennis, serving and volleying all the time, and Thomas was not particularly complimentary about Jaco's style of play.
No, he said they don't play tennis, they just run in and catch the ball. And it's not exciting, and they play like clowns. Elting wasn't impressed.
Costa showing no reaction to having missed the break point in the previous game. And he moves ahead once again. It's 4-3 in the second set. We'll take a break and be right back.
Find your grip. Keep your target in mind. Swing through the ball. Not even the best can forget the simple things. And the best are on the Volvo Tour on Eurosport.
This programme is brought to you on Eurosport by Volvo.
The Scandinavian Masters, tonight at 8 p.m. on Eurosport.
Eurosport Live.
Welcome back. We're looking at a replay of Muster's footwork because we've had the trainer and the supervisor out on court for Thomas. Remember, he pulled out of last week's Dutch Open. He's got a cyst underneath his right big toe. He wasn't allowed treatment, and I'm sure that's because Rudy Berger said, tough mate, it's a pre-existing condition, you're not allowed treatment for it.
Yes, one just wonders whether Costa was aware of that, because if he was, he just wants to keep Muster out there, and certainly any points gained like that with that big forehand will not please one Mr. Muster. And if he is hurting at all, then he'll try and end points as quickly as he can.
Going to have an operation on it to remove the cyst after the US Open.
It's nice to hear the generous applause for the Spaniard. I think a knowledgeable crowd, realizing this man's got talent, as I said earlier, particularly on that side, which seems to be warming up now, the backhand.
Just noticed a couple of times we've seen Costa wringing the wrist, as if he's got a little bit of soreness in his right wrist. Maybe that's why he's hitting one or two slices rather than the rolled backhand.
surprised that the last two serves to the left court, to the backhand court, have not been pulling Costa out wide on the backhand. Worcester choosing to serve down the middle on the forehand. Well, Musta's a little worried here, realizing that Costa's picking up his game, that Costa's resisting him. Costa's winning his serves fairly comfortably. This was not the script.
Again, thinking the line judge is getting in his way. Not much the line judge can do. Break point. And for the first time in the match, Alberto Costa breaks, and he'll serve for one set all. And suddenly there's a whole different complexion to this final.
Well, you can see Musta's great strength, the fact that he's down, that Costa's serving for the set, and suddenly he's just hitting the ball that much harder, seems that much more determined.
Every time he's played a drop shot, Costa, he's won the point. I think it's been about 5 or 6 now.
Yes, it's a shot that's been a real godsend for the Spaniard. Musta late to get there yet again. Needs the express train, not the one that stops at every station.
The big serve brings Alberto Costa to set point. Cometh the hour, cometh the man.
Well, it underlines really a tremendous heart. Wasn't quite in position to make that forehand down the line as he has been earlier, Costa. The angle wasn't quite right.
Muster, the supreme competitor, survives a set point and breaks back. Costa's lead is cut to 5 games to 4 in the second set. He's such a supreme competitor.
I don't know that there really is anybody better than Muster. The first break point that he should have on the Costa serve, and he takes it. And the very fact that he's won these tournaments this year, Muster, and in how many is it? He's won 8, and in 4 of them he's been down match points. 4 tournaments of the 8, he's in not necessarily in finals, in earlier rounds has been down match points, and yet come back through those matches to win not only the matches but to go on and win the title. As one of the slopes of the famous Austrian runs.
Yes, the Hahnenkamm, the supreme downhill, the supreme competitor in action in the valley in Kitzbuhel. In his last tournament victory in Stuttgart, Thomas Muster saved 4 match points against Sergio Buguera in the semis. Now, can he level the second set at 5-all?
Giving the court a disparaging look. Well, the important element in that rally there was the first serve of Muster. And this is the serve that he hasn't been using well in the set. To serve the 1-ace, but hasn't, particularly on this side, hasn't used the swinging serve well to open up the court.
As well may he shake his head. He knows he's letting chances slip through his fingers at the moment. Love 30 back to 30-all. Costa, though, still within 2 points of 1 set all. Well, that's terrific.
Well, Muster did what he wanted to do, but he'd be kicking himself. He'd be saying, why didn't I hit it wide again to the backhand side? Nevertheless, I think good play on both sides, and you've just got to say, well played, Costa.
Finds the back end when he needs it. Muster misjudged it. Vamos, says Alberto Costa. 3 successive breaks of serve, and after an hour and 25 minutes, it's 1-all. And if that foot of Muster is hurting, he's in for a tough afternoon now.
It's looking like the French all over again.
Second double. Oh, your horseflies are back through.
Yes, one of the features of play in the mountains in summertime are these flies with very big teeth. Usually aware of them a couple of days later.
Oh, what a great point.
Well, each player put everything into it, particularly this high backhand volley from Costa. The crowd thought it was over and couldn't believe their eyes when Muster got it back. It's often such a good smash. The wrong footing smash, because the player is so intent on taking up his position back in the middle of the court again.
Real problems now for the #1 seed as he falls behind in the third set at 1-all.
Next time you choose a tire, all we ask is that you remember why. Firestone, the science of safety.
Eurosport.
Same constructors, same power, same drivers, same competition. But when the DTM goes abroad, it becomes the ITC, the International Touring Car Challenge, but it's still on Eurosport.
This program is brought to you on Eurosport by Bridgestone.
Bridgestone, the science of performance.
The ITC from Estoril, this evening at 7 p.m. on Eurosport.
Welcome once again. You can just see the court being watered as the third set gets underway, so it'll have been dragged and the line swept into the sweltering sun. Water will just bed down the top surface. But I think the question that certainly is uppermost in my mind now, Fru, is just how much is Muster hurting with this foot problem?
Yes, well, there are no real signs of it as he runs from shot to shot. Certainly pumping away with both legs. It's his right toe that has the cyst under it. But of course, he's not one to show that he's hurt. He's a bit of a macho man. But there really has been quite a change come over the match. Costa's much more confident, and Muster not making the impressions he was early on with his serve. That's where he's got to really raise his game, I think. And that, I think, is the perfect rally. He's got to look to play a lot more of those. Bring this man out wide on the backhand and then look to abbreviate the rally.
The fourth double fault from Muster. Certainly not making those backhands cross court.
Well, caught in the lens, and it can't say he was caught napping really, Costa, but just giving Muster a bit of breathing space here, letting up, particularly on the forehand side. Which unusually has been the stronger of his wings today.
You can hear that there are certainly some Spanish supporters in the crowd. Oh, extraordinary stuff. This crowd have gone a bit quiet, but that's roused them. And a little clinch fist from Lightgate.
Certainly couldn't have cut it fine on the drop shot, hitting the top of the net. Then this really was the improvised shot of the match so far. No man's land, bringing off the lob volley. I'd like to break this racket. So much more difficult to break these days. That's why Costa's got such a good game, really, to play Muster. That's why I thought he had the beating of Muster as the match turned out in the French.
Well, perhaps I'm clutching at straws, but Muster, to me, doesn't seem to be moving quite so well to his forehand side now. It's out wide on the backhand. I don't know whether this was the last point of the last set, but eventually you would see that Costa plays him wide to the forehand.
Yes, he went for a lot in there and really didn't have enough upward motion of the racket. Lost his nerve, and you can see from those slow motions, as lovely as they are, that Muster is a real scrambler. He's not lightning fast on the court, but he does so well because he plays so well on the stretch, and of course that's a real technique which you have to learn on clay, to play the ball at the end of your slide.
One set all, and we're on serve in the third. It's best of 5, the final of the Austrian Open. Just some movement behind Costa.
Well, that's a pattern I think that Muster can quite fruitfully use more and more.
Well, he's put a couple of those middle volleys after his own drop shots, and that's a love game, and they've been a rarity in this match. I think it's only the second.
Yes, it is. Where Costa's really picked his game up is that he's suddenly found his backhand side again. And ironically, though, that's where Muster's got to press him to perhaps try and sow the seed of doubt again, and also looking to open up the court for the big Muster forehand.
Intensity of the match has just gone off a little bit. Not surprising at the start of a new set, both of them regrouping.
Yes, where Muster has to re-evaluate really is that Costa's not serving with blistering pace, no aces at all in the second set, and yet only once did Muster have that break opportunity. He took it, but it's not good enough returning on the Costa serve.
Costa answers Muster's love service game with one of his own. And he's ahead once again, 3-2, third set at 1 set all.
Eurosport Live.
Well, when we left for the commercial break, you weren't imagining things. People were jumping out of planes. And, well, that's one way of holding up a tennis match. Spot on, I guess.
A bit more accurate than I am with my shots.
On the golf course or the tennis court?
Yeah, on the tennis court.
Back to the action. 2-3.
Well, notice how high that ball bounced. That's the altitude, of course, and it enables these players sometimes to smash the ball with one bounce right out of court. Fairly hard based, this clay court as well. Because quite often in Europe they tempted to make the base of courts pretty hard so as to attract the hard-serving players of this tennis tour, people like Ivan Isavic, and who's won here, and Sampras, who's won here. They're encouraged that the court has a bit more pace.
A third successive love game. Pete Sampras played here and won here in 1992 as preparation for Barcelona. Trouble is, it wasn't much preparation, it was a clay court, but Barcelona was as slow can be in service percentages.
Yes, the Barcelona Olympics.
Absolutely. Val de Brom. The courts up there, they really were ridiculously slow. Made so quite deliberately to try and favour the Spanish.
Yes, Costa's got the sort of game, in fact, which I think he can do well on a hard court with. Hasn't given himself much chance on grass yet. Just played last year and lost to Chang. This year during Wimbledon he was playing a challenger in Braunschweig in Germany.
Certainly the quality of play has dropped off a little in this set.
Yes, and I think one of the reasons for it is that Costa's winning his serve comparatively easily. Musta really averaging here, well, he's got the 2 points here. Now that's more than he's been averaging per Costa service game.
Falling back off that backhand as opposed to transferring the weight forward and into the ball. So we still on serve, no break points in this second set. Third set, 4-3. Drew, does that happen in a best of 5 set match where it's 1 set all? You sort of think, well, now I've got to go another 2 sets, and let's take the early part of this third set quietly and not bust a gut as long as I can hold my serve, and then we get to sort of 4 all, and then you try and move up a gear again?
Yes, not at all. I think it might happen subconsciously, but it certainly doesn't happen consciously, because theoretically what you ought to be thinking is that if I can get on top of him early on here, he'll sort of feel, well, you know, I might not be able to withstand this, and if the chap goes on to win the set, who on earth wants to play a 5-setter? So the idea really is that this is the meat of the battle, and that you want to eat it up and eat up your opponent pretty quickly. But subconsciously, I think in some ways you're right. I think there is the sort of feeling that there's a long way to go, and you just sort of feel your way through. But I think it is subconscious.
Well, it was at this stage of the second set that suddenly the whole pattern changed when Muster lost serve for the first time. Up till then, he looked pretty much in control.
Yes, and I think the frustration really of just making little impression on the Costa serve, just getting to him and looking to force just a bit more on his own service game rather than on the Costa service game.
Really opening the door here. And Costa stepped through it. That serve was perilously close to being a double.
Well, an immature backhand at love 30, really.
But tucking Muster up very close to the body. And here's the first break point of the third set.
I don't know about shaving his head. I think he'll be going grey any minute.
Particularly if Muster makes small errors like that. Yes, a little signal saying play it into the backhand corner. That could be a very expensive miss. Yes, what he literally is like a cat on a hot tin roof, can't sit still for 1 second. He knows this really is danger time for his man. wide.
Well, this is a finer rally as you've seen from Worcester. This is really French championship material. A Grand Slam winner in action, using the whole court.
Well played, Costa, not least because he kept his head while some in the crowd were complaining that one of his shots was out, and it certainly wasn't.
And so often a good tactic to come in behind the drop shot, of course, narrow the angle. And the shot cross court from Worcester would have been very dangerous, so Costa wisely covering the shot down the line. Well, if there were doldrums, suddenly there's a tremendous wind and the sailing is terrific. Worcester making up his mind very quickly to play the volley.
That could be an absolutely crucial game. Costa had 2 points to lead, 5-3. But Worcester it is, who's levelled at 4-all.
Yes, and you remember what I was saying about the fact that in 8 of this man's tournaments won this year, 4 times during those events he's saved match points and gone on to win the event. So saving break points, well, that's bread and butter. Costa has an amazing coolness, and notice the way he just gets around this to get the acute angle.
Looks comfortable at the net, which can't be said for all the Spaniards on the tour.
Mr.'s always muttering and of course very, very physical, whereas this man has a serenity about him. Only 20.
Third double fault from Costa. Yep, that was wide. One set all, 4-all, 30-all.
It's a good view with coach in charge in view. Of course, Lightgibb's not allowed to signal. He's not allowed to coach from the side of the court.
Well, once again, Costa showing his skills as a match player. No reaction to the missed opportunities in the previous game. We stay on serve, 5-4.
Yes, you might say that, of course, Costa's got absolutely nothing to lose. He's surely the underdog here, but let's face it, the man's been in finals. He hasn't yet won a tournament on the ATP Tour, and he's good enough to win, so he will have given himself a real chance against Muster, particularly as he really pressed the Austrian in the quarterfinals of the French and came very close to beating him. Certainly was the man who extended Muster the most. So there's a lot at stake here for Costa, and yet he is showing this coolness, I think, under immense pressure. After all, it's not only Muster, the mega man who wins no matter where he plays, it seems, but it's also the Austrian crowd that he's having to contend with. And I frankly think it's really a wise head on fairly young shoulders that's seen Costa through. He's certainly picked up his game, playing far better all-round tennis.
Muster must hold serve here, or the third set will be Costa's. Fourth ace from Muster, and just what he needed, a nice, easy service game, having struggled on his previous one.
Yes, first ace of the set, and really at altitude, and given his power on his serve, he should be striking just a few more than that. This is still fairly familiar territory for a man like Costa, who's not used to playing 5-set matches.
I think one of the handheld cameramen just moving at the wrong moment. That was a slightly lazy shot from the Spaniard. Didn't really move his feet too much. No.
Yes, much of Muster's problems on the Spaniard serve is the fact that he's not getting much depth at all on his backhand side, Muster, allowing the Spaniard to dictate the rally.
Well, it's an optimistic shot to play from that far back, but I suppose he felt that at 40-15 down, didn't matter too much. 6-5 then, Costa leads, third set.
Looks pretty good stuff right here.
This wrinkles someone's tennis fights.
A spark of courage, the flame of desire, burning with intensity. The world's top athletes will bring it all together in Gothenburg, Sweden, at the 5th World Championships in Athletics. Experience the full impact of the drama and excitement with Panasonic Video. Selected as the official sponsor, Panasonic.
Brilliant sunshine blazing down on Kitzbuhel. Muster trying to force a tie-break at the end of this third set of the final. It's a best-of-5 set match. That's a really good overhead. Played at the sunny end.
Yes, really courageous, but so many of these top professionals are so good at doing that. Even on clay, they can put it away. Two good first serves from Muster, both to the Costa backhand so far. Made the points easier.
Yes, it is a real surprise when they miss a smash, no matter how difficult. He has played a few of those too close to the body, hence the mistakes. That was a lot shorter.
Yes, that's what you need, Muster, my friend, is just some wisdom which comes with age. That first serve on the backhand.
Well, he made it. He was a little lucky. He lunged at it.
Yes, he took it a little easy, but the altitude almost deceived him because the ball came through just that bit more quickly and was a little higher.
One set all, 6 games all, tie-break time.
Well, Costa's won the only tiebreaker he's played this week. Muster's won all, but he lost a disastrous one. Only won 1 point against Schaller in the second set.
Ironically, he won the other one he's played this week against Sandor Nosley in the quarters, also 7-1. Oh, they're so good at that shot.
Yes,
Lorenzo Fargus, the coach of Costa. And I think that is Christmas come a little early. And fifth double fault and an immediate mini break to the Spaniard.
Well, it's one of the few rallies of late where both players have got away to an even start, with Muster therefore not putting his opponent under pressure behind the serve, that Costa's lost. Chiefly because Muster's found a bit extra on his backhand in that rally.
Oh, he hit the line and skidded through and gave Muster no chance.
Well, this is an incredible bit of resistance here from Costa.
One four. It's only 1 point against the serve, but it's a long way back. And that will hurt Muster. And Costa fancies he's got this tiebreaker.
You can't blame him, really. But again, Muster's got his man on the stretch, and yet the backhand just not doing anything for him. Look at this, virtually straight down the court. Admittedly, a terrific shot from Costa. But it's Muster's inability on the backhand side really to hurt the Spaniard that is allowing Costa to dictate and really take over this match.
Didn't really get down to that ball. Two key points for Costa. 5-2 up, 2 serves to come. If he wins them, he leads 2 sets to 1.
One double apiece in the tiebreak.
Fourth from Costa, and maybe the occasion just getting to him. Still has 1 mini break in hand. Phones the corner. And it's 3 set points to the Spaniard. It was long. Costa points to the mark. And the 20-year-old, yet to win a tour title, leads the #1 seed by 2-1. And I don't know whether Arnie Lightkeep is pointing the finger at anyone in particular, but Thomas Muster is going to take a pit stop, a toilet break. Of course, there will be a little bit of extra time here as the court is re-dragged and no doubt watered. Well, it's the French Open scenario all over again. Costa by 2-1.
Yes, the big question is just how keen, how determined Muster will be to win this match. We know that he has this immense courage, but there must come a time in Muster's career when it just lets him down for once. And one just wonders how bad the cyst on his right toe is. There are no signs to me, although he's complained about it during this match. Remember, it caused him to pull out of Amsterdam. Running from shot to shot, there are no signs of it hurting him. And if one assumes that it is not that troublesome, then Muster is going to rely on his tremendous courage and his determination, and the fact that this is Austria, that this is Kitzbuhel, that this is their clay court championships. He's going to need this crowd to help him just pump himself up to come back. And of course he'll be able to tell himself that he's done it against Costa at the French. On the other hand, Costa, I think, will be just that little bit older, that little bit wiser, and perhaps he'll be that little bit more determined to win. The one big question mark, though, is what is his stamina like over 5 sets? He lost the 4th and the 5th eventually rather suddenly against Muster in the French, and he is so unaccustomed to playing a long 5-setter. Muster, on the other hand, of course, one of the best at playing and winning 5-set matches. Because if Muster is to win this, it's got to be 5 sets.
I think Costa there was wondering if one of his rackets that he broke a string in earlier had been restrung and was ready again. And our apologies to you cycling fans who are hoping to see the Leeds Classic out of the Cycling World Cup at the moment. Everything running a little bit behind today in Kitzbuhel because the doubles final overran and the singles final started an hour late. It's a funny old game, isn't it? Each man has won 108 points, and yet Costa leads by 2-1. I imagine that was the position at the end of the 3rd set. Here's the 4th. Correct call, so first serve.
Also no real opportunity for Muster to listen to his coach when he went off. He would have been followed, and they ought to have seen to it that he didn't chat at all to Lightkeep.
Line judge accompanies the player when he goes to the locker room. He missed it. Unusual to see him make a miss like that when he had his opponent on the scamper. Muster wins the opening game at the fourth set, but it's A.Costa who leads by 2-1.
Look, there's Larry.
Time to go. Hey, Larry.
Morning, Larry.
BWS is 716. Morning, Larry.
How's it going, Larry?
Morning, Larry.
Thanks, Larry. Morning, Larry.
Getting quicker, Mr. Morris. New shoes?
Eurosport Live.
Magnificent aerial view of the stadium court, which you can see has been built on the other side of the railway tracks to the rest of the courts in Kitzbuhel, right alongside the golf course. Finals day at the Austrian Open. A.Costa up by 2-1 on the Austrian hero. New balls in play.
Well, early on in a set, Muster always looks as if he's going to be a lot more aggressive, at least in his approaches to the net. But once he gets past and once he misses a volley, he suddenly reverts to his aggressive backcourt play only. Well, it was perhaps an injudicious approach by Costa, but the fact that Muster made a backhand and hit a winner on the backhand will surely make him feel better. He hasn't scored with too many backhands.
Those are just the errors you don't expect Muster to make when he's got a love 30 situation, to give Costa an easy point back. Oh, what an extraordinary rally.
Well, Costa has an amazing capacity to hide any heavy breathing, because surely he must be tired after this. I know he will be inspired and absolutely thrilled that he should whip this one by Muster. But he shows no signs. Elation, yes. An amazing capacity to hide his pain.
Jon Tyriak.
He's a former winner of this tournament.
And you have to admire this young man playing so well. Love 30 down in that game. You thought that Muster was going to come tearing back at him at the start of the fourth.
Yes, considering the fact that he doesn't have a dynamic serve and hasn't clocked ace after ace. The fact that Muster, other than when Muster has broken Costa, has only once actually got break points on his opponent.
And the fourth set starting off with a much higher quality of play than the early stages of the third.
Yes, and I think this is really where Muster has got to change his game plan. He's got to attack just a bit more to that side. Even though I believe Costa's got a better backhand than he's got a forehand, it just seems apparent that against left-handers he's not quite so sure on that wing.
Love game for Muster. Finished with a fit ace. And it's Muster who leads by 2 games to 1, but Costa by 2 sets to 1. How good do you think Alberto Costa can be for it?
Well, I think he's got a game that lends itself to even further improvement. And because I think technically he's well equipped to play, obviously, on clay, but also to play on hard. I think he's got a very efficient and sort of unfussy serve. He hits across the ball, so he can hit with slice. He can also kick the ball, and it's handy to have those options on your serve. He's got a classical backhand, and I think once he learns to be able to resist when he's forced on the backhand side, I think it'll be one of the great shots in the game. He's got a very effective forehand side. Technically, because he's good on the serve and he has a backhand slice, he's got sound volleys. So I think he can really go places.
The start of last year, Alberto Costa was ranked 221 in the world. Now he's 27 and threatening to go higher.
But above all, and I'm sure the spectators here will agree, they know all about Muster. Above all, I think what Costa has, and that I think is so important, is temperament.
That's neat and clever. He knew Muster had to commit himself to covering the backhand corner. Just hit it back into the same spot with a big margin of error, well over the net and well inside the baseline.
Well, Muster, I think, broke a string, so he was bound on charging the net. He did well to play the half volley, as it turned out.
Yes, while you were away at a commercial break, the PA made an announcement for one of the representatives of the stringing companies to make urgent contact.
There's the forced and unforced errors. Muster leading in the unforced errors.
And there's another one to add to the total. Certainly not making any impression on the Costa serve.
Yes, and we've spoken quite a bit about equipment this week because, of course, some of the major racket manufacturers are Austrian-based. One of the reasons, of course, they are in Austria is the fact that having made skis for generations, they've sought to make something for the summer. So they came up with the idea of making tennis rackets, and it's proved pretty profitable. Using the same ingredients that they use in skis with rackets. Thus, it's been goodbye to wood and come on everything else. Sounds like another string gone.
Yes, they are going to be busy in the stringer's hut.
Now he's a man who's using not an Austrian racket, but ironically, the man who was the inspiration behind Prince was a man called Howard Head, after who Worcester's racket is called. And in fact, that same Howard Head is the man probably primarily responsible for the great change in tennis rackets. So if you want to blame anybody for big serving and the aces at Wimbledon, blame Mr. Head. That's sadly no longer with us.
We've seen some extraordinary rallies.
Well, you might think, as I did, that this was a very dangerous ploy by Muster, and I think had Costa gone down the line, it might well have been. But finally, we see from Costa not a smile, some teeth, but I think it was a grimace.
Caught by surprise by the serve wide out to his forehand. A 6-ace for Thomas Muster. And it's the Austrian, by virtue of having served first, who leads 3-2 in the fourth set. Yes, when you were talking about the late Mr. Head being responsible for the change of rackets, I was tempted to say off with his head.
Yes, it certainly allowed so much more power in the game, and this was where Muster played rather prettily across court, but it's so dangerous when you reply to a drop shot with a cross court because it leaves so much court, and had Costa gone down the forehand side, you can see that Muster had stayed his ground and Costa would have won the point, or chances are that he would have won the point. As it was in the end, Muster came out tops, of course, again with another one of these big forehands down the line. An area of the court where he does win a lot of his points. His forehand has been pretty good today. He's missed quite a number, as David has said, but his backhand, I think, has let him down more.
Two and a half hours we've been on court now. Our apologies once again to you cycling fans. But I do hope you'll stay with us and enjoy an exciting final in Kitzbuhel.
Well, quite often against Costa's serve. He's got to love 15, sometimes even to love 30, but then his resolve has let him down. And Costa's just been a little bit more defiant than most of Musta's opponents.
Fifth double fault from Costa. Again, the door slightly ajar. As you can see, the Spaniard yet to serve an ace. Yes. And wonders about the first one, but it matters not now because Musta was equal to it. Was it on the line? I can't tell from that. But 2 break points for Musta.
That may be long, may just be out, that serve. He must have got a bit.
Musta breaks back. 4-2 he leads. And how many times have we said, what a great competitor. A man who'll grind it out, who'll fight and fight to the last point. As Frew McMillan has pointed out, winning 8 titles this year. In 4 of those tournaments, he's come from match point down. And he may be hurting with his foot injury, but he's a tough old cookie.
Well, he's a tournament promoter's dream, I can tell you that, because it doesn't matter whether it's Austria, Mexico City or Timbuktu. He hates to lose and he usually wins.
And even when he loses, he can still help the tournament, because I was in Dubai where he lost in the first round to Pat Cash. He stayed on and acted as the hitting partner with Andrea Gaudenzi, his stablemate, who got to the final. And he also did all sorts of kids' clinics and signed loads and loads of autographs. A revitalized Musta, pounding it out. And it's as if he's caught that express train that's rumbling by the courts. Musta on a roll, 3 games in a row, 5-2 he leads in the 4th. We'll be back.
Next time you choose a tire, all we ask is that you remember why. Firestone, the science of safety.
Costa serving to stay in the fourth set. 2-5.
Very often in these circumstances, Muster is tempted, like many of us, just to try for something a bit too butch, a bit too heavy.
Oh. Well, he was struggling on the backhand wing at the start of the match, Costa, but there is two of the best backhands you could ever wish to see.
Really using the court. I tell you, somebody who would have loved that would be Manolo Santana. Great Spanish Wimbledon and the US and French champion who could use every inch of the court.
The man who coached Jennifer Capriati to success in the Barcelona Olympics. I wish he was with her now. There's the macho man in Muster. Using the racket like a bludgeon.
Well, of course, the perfect time to let rip because he was down. Very often he tries that in the first couple of points of this game and misses.
Costa also playing with a certain amount of freedom that comes from being 2-5 down in a set. Thinking he can go for it, being still a set up, of course. Six doubles from the Spaniard. Very late the call, but general consensus is that it was correct. Set point for Muster. Well, he rather threw that set away in the end. 4 games in a row. And after 2 hours and 40 minutes, 2 sets all, a little nod of approval from coach to player. We're going the distance in Kitzbuhel. 5th and final set. Muster to serve.
Well, it's not quite the repeat of the French quarterfinal, but that had a very similar pattern. Muster won that 4th set 7-5, but otherwise it followed exactly the same line that this one has. Muster up, Costa up, equal, and of course Muster went on to win it.
This wasn't in the script. Muster struggling on his own serve. Start of the fifth. He won the fifth set in Roland Garros, 6-2. A 6-double from Muster. Well, Costa blaming the court there, but a little bit of lack of conviction in his stroke. But it's the Spaniard who gets the immediate break in the fifth. And just when you thought that Muster had sorted out his problems, he's back right in trouble.
Yes, well, the change of ends, because not the change of set, but the change of end gives them the opportunity to go through the dragging and the planing down of the court again. But you mentioned that Costa seemed to be accusing the court. What I like about him, though, is that there are so many other things that he could have been upset about. He could have said that he'd lost and missed the backhand because the crowd had affected him, because the crowd are obviously going bananas on occasion here. And let's face it, 99.9% of them are going bananas for Muster. And that can be very, very upsetting for a young player. Costa just 20 years of age. And yet he's taking it on the chin really like a man, and he has this calmness about him. He has this serenity. He's not a big man, and surely he must be tired. And tired not only because it's nerve-wracking, tired because it's physical, tired because it's Muster, tired also because there's altitude here in Kitzbuhel. And as a result of altitude, you find breathing that much more difficult. And yet, look at him. He's laid back.
Yes, just sort of using a musical comparison. It's almost as if Muster is the Austrian umpire band, and Costa the serene serenity of Rodrigo's guitar concerto. Once again, our apologies to our cycling fans, and I guess even now to the athletics fans. With the mismatch starting 1 hour late and going 5 sets, we're rather mucking around the schedules this afternoon. But that's the nature of a live sports channel, and it's great to be having so many marvellous events for you here on Eurosport. The statistics after 4 sets, but it's Costa who has his nose in front. 1-love in the fifth. Both of them getting into a dangerous habit of double faults. 7 now for the Spaniard. Thomas will be thoroughly fed up of the number of errors he's made on his backhand cross-court. First ace of the match from Costa. It'll be a new set of tennis balls. I was thinking that possibly only one better player of 5-set matches than Muster, and that's the American Aaron Quickstein, who makes a habit of winning matches from 2 sets to love down. Did it at Wimbledon, did it at the Australian Open against Stefan Edberg. It's an extraordinary 5-set record.
Yes, Muster's is 18-1 and 6 lost over 5 sets. That is, of course, matches that go to 5 sets. He's only played one, the one against Muster.
Almost made it.
Well, you could hear him willing himself on here, Costa, trying to find the extra bit of strength that's difficult sometimes to find in the 5th set.
Just long. Yes, they're coming up to 2 hours and 50 minutes, and although at 4:45 local time, it's obviously the sun has lost its midday heat. It's still a really hot afternoon. 8th ace from Muster. He opens his account in the 5th set, but it's still Costa who has the break. 2-1. We know all about this man's determination and mental strength. It's a real test now of Alberto Costa. Does he believe that he's ready to win his first title against one of the world's very best?
Well, of course, it's a difficult one to answer. Only Costa himself, I'm sure, could say that. But I have the feeling that he does believe, just the way he's gone through this match and the way I saw him. It was almost plain sailing, rather an apt analogy, perhaps, against Muster, where I thought he came so very, very close to winning in the French Championships, that he just has the makeup of a winner. And I think it's not going to take too long before Costa does win. Muster, of course, not the only real story of courage in Austrian tennis. There perhaps is one even greater than Muster. Yes, and the other one, the other story of courage that surrounds Austrian tennis players is a chap called Seiler, who before the Second World War lost played, as we all do, played with his right hand, but had 2 arms, lost an arm during the war, and came back after the war and learned to play with one hand only. That is, had to throw the ball up with the same racket arm that he used to hold the racket. In other words, would balance the ball on the end of the racket, throw it up, and regained his place in the Austrian Davis Cup team and went on to do pretty well.
Extraordinary story. Well, this was just the sort of loose game that Alberto Costa couldn't afford. And Muster has 3 chances to level. Not been that successful at converting break points, though. A love game, and Costa gives Muster an old-fashioned look as if to say, what have I got to do to you to make you lie down? I can tell him, win the last point of the match. That's the only way. Two sets all, 2 games all.
Well, it's not surprising, the spectators just getting carried away a little bit.
Remind you that Muster has won the last 24 finals that he's appeared in. Extraordinary record. I should have said 24 finals on clay.
Well, you can see just what it means, and he just refuses to admit somehow, Muster, that anybody but himself is to blame when he misses a shot. In some ways, that's good, of course. Cursing the court. And this is Muster doing what I thought he might do a lot of, just rushing Costa on the strong side of him. But when Costa's rushed there, he's not nearly as effective. But Muster hasn't done much of that. On the line.
Second serve.
You sometimes get the feeling with Muster that he's both a masochist and sadist. He likes to hurt himself, but in so doing, he also likes to drag his opponents through long, rough matches.
Well, it really is a fluctuating final set, this one. Chance for Costa to move ahead once again. And again, he claims it was the court's fault.
Yes, it certainly kept a little low, but he had time really to check his shot. Well, that was a slightly tired movement away to his left by Costa there. He hoped that a stretch would do it.
A huge cry of vamos.
A lone Spaniard.
Basically means go. He's found the line. His third chance to break Muster. That's too good. Costa celebrates as he breaks. And it's the Spaniard who's in front at 3-2 in the 5th set. But can he hang on to the lead this time?
Like most supercars, this awesome machine runs on Bridgestone tires. But even at top speed, this car can't test Bridgestone tires to their limit.
3-2 Costa, final set, final in Kitzbuhel.
Well, that same combination making the difference between a point won and a point lost for Muster. The ineffective backhand not hurting Costa, and then Costa able to hurt with the forehand down the line.
Shot from the net camera. Oh, Costa really going for his shots now and pulling them off.
You just get the feeling that unless Costa goes for a shot and makes an error, that somehow Muster, behind the return, has got to find some pace and power and direction to put Costa on the defensive.
It's been a Noah's Ark of a 5th set. The games are going in 2-2. First 2 to Costa, next 2 to Muster, and now 2 more to the Spaniard. 2-4. We passed the 3-hour mark.
Well, Costa it is, even with the advantage of a net cord here, who's looking to have more energy. But that's the sort of thing that Muster likes to hear.
Well, you get a net cord like this at a stage of the match like this, and who knows how important that might be The difference between 30-15 up and 15-30 down. And now he would have been 15-40 down. With Bruguera having... Costa. Too many Spaniards in the tournament. And Costa would then have had 2 points to serving for the title. 30-all.
Well, first it was the backhand net court that helped Muster, and here finally giving himself margin for error, hitting up through the ball with a lot of top and a lot of pace. But the backhand has been very costly because he hasn't been able to open up the court with it.
First time Costa's failed with a drop shot. Muster's coming back at him once again. It's 4-3 the lead now in the 5th set. You just know this man isn't going to give up.
Yes, for once you sort of expect him to. Costa playing the drop shot there, as David says, the first time really that he's lost the point on the drop shot. But the great Harry Hopman used to say that if you played drop shot sort of against the run of play, in other words, because you weren't winning a lot of points on it, it was a sign that you were tired. The reason being, of course, that you felt that if somebody drop shot at you, you wouldn't like it, and therefore you try and use it against the opponent. So perhaps just showing signs of tiredness, and who can blame him? The point, though, is that he's still a break up in this final set, and so he's doing better here than he did against Muster at the French, and he is, I think, looking a slightly different and improved player even than he showed at the French, Costa.
He's been improving so rapidly. 744 in the world at the end of 92, 221 at the end of 93, 52 at the end of 94, 27 now, and certain to go higher, whoever wins this match. (4-3).
Leaping into it. Well, that's such good play by Costa, because you get the feeling that Muster has to start something early on in a rally, something like this as well, and Costa perhaps reading his mind and just showing that he'll do it quickly himself.
Too good.
Well, the crowd went suddenly hushed as Muster went to play this, because they could all see it coming. Costa was there for the lob, but gosh, he cut it fine. Magic.
He's missed another one of those backhands, and the opportunity was there. The second ace from Alberto Costa, and the young Spaniard is one game away from a famous victory and a first career title. We have to go all the way back to October of 1993 for Muster to lose a final anywhere. That was in Vienna. indoors on carpet. But he's now 3 points away from losing this one.
Well, like Kitzbuhel, almost looks as serene as does Costa. And these net courts just of late been helping Muster, though. Obviously brought his own net with him. Well, you wouldn't expect anything else, would you?
Certainly wouldn't expect that. We're down to the point of no return as Muster forces Costa to serve for the title at 5-4. All right, Fru, let's take you back a few years. You're on the verge of your first career title. You're about to serve for it. What are you saying to yourself?
Well, what I'm going to be saying to myself is, particularly if I'm playing at Kitzbuhel, that I'm going to get a large percentage of first serves in, but I'm going to continue to go for the serves, not flat out, but with sort of three-quarters pace. And particularly playing against Muster, I would be looking, as I'm sure Costa will be, to effective use of the slice serve. Muster will be expecting a lot of serves to the backhand. And certainly on the first point to Muster, I would go wide and look to open up the court for the big forehand. Important to go for the shots if they hit short, to keep the head down, watch the ball very carefully until the last minute, because so often, of course, you're so keen to win points, particularly at a stage like this, that you're inclined to lift your head. So keep the head down, address the ball.
Alberto Costa serving for the title.
It's such an economical action. He can still generate pace because of the altitude with it.
Two first serves in, only his third ace of the match. 2 more points needed. Oh, well, he's played this game as if this is a practice session with his mates in Barcelona. So calm, so cool. 3 match points.
Could Agassi have done it better, I ask myself.
He's done it. That's a fabulous win for Alberto Costa. Only Muster's second defeat on clay all year. His first defeat in a final for nearly 2 years. And Spain has a new star.
Well, he certainly is. What a shining light, too. That's a tremendous resistance by Costa. An outstanding performance to come against Muster against the Austrian crowd, against all odds, really. What a talent.
Well, we're going to have to rush away because we've been keeping cycling and athletics fans waiting, but those of you who stayed with us, I'm sure you will have agreed that was a marvellous final, and it's always exciting to be at a major stepping stone in a young man's career. Don't forget, there'll be more tennis tonight with our colleague Simon Reed, who'll be bringing you the second of the semi-finals from Los Angeles, the match between Goran Ivanisevic and Thomas Enquist. And the final of Los Angeles you can see on Eurosport tomorrow, on Monday, and then I'll be back with you in a couple of weeks' time for New Haven. It's been great having Frew McMillan with us this week. We hope he'll be with us a lot more in the future, particularly when we are able to cover the ATP Tour in depth next year. Frew, your final thoughts on Kitzbuhel 95?
Well, firstly, rather like Wimbledon, terrific weather, terrific sunshine, terrific crowd responding to their king of tennis, the man who is their first ever Grand Slam winner. They responded, but the resistance that Costa put up to become like Emilio Sanchez, a winner here at not at Wimbledon, but at Kitzbuhel. Sanchez, who won twice, Segueras before him, the only other Spaniard, but Costa really a rising talent. And he mastered all the skills, he mastered all the resistance that Musta could throw his way, and stood so calm.
Our host broadcasters put together a nice little montage, a musical montage. Ronnie Lightgift, well, he doesn't see Thomas Musta lose too often, particularly not on the red clay, but Alberto Costa. What a great young talent, 20-year-old from Barcelona is, the latest in a line of really fine Spanish players. Now we're going to be going to the cycling very shortly. I just gather there's a slight technical hitch in the studios in Paris. But you've been very patient. You won't have to be very patient for much longer. At full stretch, and he was for much of the match. I was mentioning that in a couple of weeks' time we've got the tournament from New Haven, the men. We've also got the tournament from Toronto, the Women's Canadian Open. Steffi Graf, first tournament since Wimbledon. And Arantxa Sanchez is there, and we are hoping that Monica Seles will be there as well. Well, you can tell that our Austrian host broadcasters are leaving you, so we better leave as well. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.
He's German. He has won Wimbledon and the US Open.